Hello and welcome back to Coaster Barras. We're back here at Alton Towers to see if they can redeem themselves from opening day disaster.
It was quite a bad day, wasn't it? But opening day, you kind of let them off. But as you can see, Dark Forest, we've not been here in quite a while.
Yeah, so we're starting here because the queues are not too bad. 10 minutes for Rita and 15 for 13, I think you said?
Yeah, we'll slap a screenshot on screen. It can change at any moment. There's loads of people filing in. But so far, besides Wickerman, the park is quite empty, which we're quite surprised about because the weather's brilliant as well. So.
Yeah, it is stunning today. And it'll also be interesting because we've just come off the back of an amazing park with brilliant operations just to see how Alton Towers does to them.
Yes, and of course it is the 8th of April, so Easter holidays are starting, which means there could be a lot more people in the park. So we thought it would be a good time to test how they would do from opening day in a busier environment again, but I don't think it'll get that busy today, so either way we can test the ride availability and of course the operations. So far the only thing that went down was Rita for 4 minutes on the way in, but I think someone had the phone now, it was temporary stoppage.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be a good day.
So for the first time since probably Scarefest, let's check out Dark Forest. I will say one thing though about queue times. The queue of Rita is very bland. It feels like we've been here for 12 minutes, but we've been here for 8. That shows you, while some queues you can be in longer, but they feel shorter because of that. Although the front row is quite empty. It's the best row. Do you want to go front row?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we can scientifically do this. What we're going to do is we're going to track people who are down there and we're going to try and see how long they get on the ride for. And that way we can estimate if the queue is accurate. It is currently saying 20 right now, so it has changed just a bit. But yes, it's like Europa Park when you go there. The queues are so well themed, aren't they?
Yeah, it just shows you that theming is extremely important for ride queues because they just go by so fast.
They do, because there were some queues who were like, oh, we've been in here for 10 minutes, you've been here an hour. It's like,
yeah,
what?
Like Voltron, there's so much going on, and then obviously like with Tesla, Nikola Tesla, and then obviously the really cool
Tesla coils.
Tesla coils. Gosh, the name went round my head. Dyslexia. Tesla coils going off every while, and it's just really fun. The atmosphere is great.
It's brilliant. I mean, I have to say, for that, I've got to say, Voltron, I've been pondering it. It's my favourite themed ride at this point, as far as theme.
It was pretty good.
It's just so gorgeous.
Cool.
I missed that room. I missed that queue. I missed the queue. It's just brilliant. But Rita, it's about a launch, as you can hear.
Go, go, go!
Well, as you can see, Rita went up to 30 minutes by the time we got on our ride, which didn't take as long as we thought it would.
No, we waited 20 minutes for the front row queue, and we were actually watching the person that before us went in the normal queue, and they waited 15, even though the time when we went in the queue said 10.
Exactly, so was it slightly underestimated? Slightly, but when we entered, it literally probably changed to 20 within a few minutes, but...
Slightly, but it was, you know, a lot of people did come in after us, so it's hard to know with these.
It's the mad rush, although I do miss the hydraulic launches. After all those LSMs, they're great, but hydraulic launches, oh my god.
And also, Rita's had a nice swishy new restraints.
They
look
are,
great.
the black.
Yeah.
Even the ride operator doesn't know. He was like, pull down your orange restraints. Is that in his set in his mindset? He had no idea there's new black restraints.
But yeah, it looks good. There are no bits missing out of them or anything. It's brilliant.
And they don't smell like sweaty butt crack anymore, you know.
Well, that might happen by the end of the year, you don't know.
Give a few rainy days.
Water and rubber, yeah, exactly. Not a good mix.
Not a good mix at all. However, 13.
It was just 35 minutes, so like about a second ago, and now it's gone down to 30.
Yeah, so we're gonna go on that. Again, we've not been on this since like Scarefest. Rita's flying around behind us. So, you know, again, it's a nice multi-dimensional coaster. It's still fun, despite the fact it is 30 minutes, but we'll take a jab.
Well, operations on 13 were absolutely incredible today. We only waited about 10 minutes, even though obviously when we came in it was 30.
Yeah, they were blitzing through. That was brilliant operations. We have to say it. You got to give them credit where you can give it. In all fairness, they were way faster than Rita. Rita is a bit slow on the operations, but they're still doing well. They just aren't sending trains out like they used to do, like ju.
Whereas 13, you sat down and they were already checking your restraint and away you go.
Yeah, it was pretty brilliant. So we did it in decent time. It was how long? About 10 minutes, you say?
10 minutes.
And the other one was about 20 minutes, and that was front row. So that is decent timing for area when they're literally saying, no, it's going to be 30 minutes, it's going to be 20 minutes, it's going to be 30 minutes, so...
But seeing as 13's dropped down to 20 minutes, and it'll probably be less than that, we're going to go on it again.
We're going to maybe hit this and Rita once more, and then we're going to...
leave the area.
Swaddle our way around. That's not a real word, but
no.
swaddle It's like a waddle, but slightly maybe, I don't know, wetter or something. It's not raining, but you know.
You come up with the strangest things.
New dictionary of Steve, let's just say that way, I don't know. Either way, readers are above our heads. Let's see what we can get on, and we'll meet you when we leave this area. Well, as you can see, we are leaving X Sector after that 20-minute
Dark Forest.
So I'm reading it. Naturally, it's going to be, you know.
That's one for the blooper reel.
Well, as you can see, we are leaving Dark Forest and we are maybe heading to X Sector because we had a 20-minute wait for 13.
Yeah, which actually was advertised at 20 and we waited 20, so all's good for that one. It did get a little bit busier when we were sort of near the front of the queue because they're bottlenecking where the baggage hold is, so they actually told us to take our bags into the station and put it in the station instead. Yes, it got to a 60-minute queue in Dark Forest and Rita was getting a bit diabolical between 30 and 45, so we were like, we're going to skip the second Rita ride for now, even though we do love it, especially on the front. That's going to be a long queue. And then as we were in 13, the queue at least, we saw Nemesis Reborn go down. Only for 15 minutes. For credit, they got it back up, but naturally that had a overflow effect on the area, a spillage essentially, because everyone fell out of that queue into Galactica, into Toxicator with 60-minute queues and 30-minute queues. It was like, and that area was doing well until then, so we were like, we're going to avoid it for now, and we're going to go straight to X Sector, because X Sector's got, what, 25 minutes and 30? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so it's not too bad, and of course, you got your favourite. Single rider. Meh, it's alright. We're slowly winning over on the single rider front, we don't mind it as much now. But yeah, we'll estimate it. We'll see when we get to Smiler if we actually use single rider or not, depending on what the queue is like. But Oblivion will most likely use the normal queue. And I'm still hoping we do not get a back row on Smiler, because even if it's sunny outside, it's still horrible on the back row. Yeah, Sarah doesn't like the back row on there, so I can understand it. It's like me and Vulture on the outer seats. I understand not liking a certain seat or row, so let's go see what we can get. Single ride is looking quite empty at the moment for a 30-minute queue. Maybe I spoke too soon. Well, the queue for single rider, but we got put into the same row. Third row. Not the best row, but we'll see what it's like. Well, as you saw there, we got the third row and we got put together in the end because Sarah initially got the second row in single rider and we waited how long? 14 minutes! Pretty much on the nose. On the nose, on a 30-minute queue too. It's gone down to 20 now, but first up, let's just get what you were saying about the ride out of the way. It feels like it's got square wheels. It really does. I don't know, it's just like the third row and the back, like the front row, brilliant on Smiler. Third row, back and fourth row, no, you can literally feel it shaking the entire way around. It just takes the enjoyment out of it. There is like one in every like 5 rides or something that's actually decent. Well, and usually on the front row. We've not had a really smooth ride since 2023, so we can't really say if we're just having bad luck with the train order throughout the last year and a half, or if it's just a case of the trains are getting worse and Alton's not putting the money into it. We don't really know at this point. I mean, batching wise even, like front row, they weren't batching up the stairs again. Like we mentioned in the last vlog. Single rider. Yeah, it was weird. They've got a door on it now, so which is good. Which is good, because we did say last time we were here, obviously a lot of, they're worried that single riders will like drop into the normal queue, and there's no door there, so obviously they could technically if they weren't watching. This time they've actually got a door, so they have to stop the main queue, close the door over, let single riders up their left-hand side of the stairs, and then close the door over so that then the main queue can go up the right side of the stairs. Pretty much. To make it long story short, they've got a two-way door. Yeah, so it basically stops you going through into another queue and trying to get on faster. However, again, the ride experience with me, the last 3 inversions was really rattly. Like I was going like all over the place, but I didn't get no headache, no pain, no anything like that. It wasn't necessarily the worst Smiler ride I've had, but I will agree it's not running as it should. But we're probably going to try it again because I'm a glutton for punishment. It wasn't my worst ride either. So, and I've been on worse.
And I still went on them again. So hey, it's us. We do this.
Well, as well as you being a glutton, Oblivion. That thing over there. Look at it. Look at it. It's down. It's down.
Why is it every time we come to this area,
It's too bright.
Oblivion is down? Yeah, that is really bright. I can't even see.
There we
The
go.
sun is so bright today.
But yeah, it's down again, so we're like, and Wicker Man's down too. So, like, right, despite your headache and our best judgment, we're gonna go back on a Smiler and test the normal queue. I personally don't believe the updated time of 10 minutes. We'll find out. Wait, Alright, I'm pretty sure this is a 10-minute situation we're in right now. They still haven't fixed the TV. It's been 2 years. I've changed my mind. After that second ride on the Smiler, we got second row, so it was a noticeably smoother ride.
Still rattly though, but better.
I've come to the revelation of, despite me loving the Smiler, it was my favourite ride at Alton Towers until they brought Nemesis, reborn from the ashes. It's bottom of the list with only 13 behind it now at the park, and I'm not sure if it even goes below that. I've come to the revelation I don't enjoy the ride anymore.
Yeah, as a whole, 13 is actually an enjoyable coaster. The shake is just, like I said before, it feels like square wheels. Normally you could enjoy it on like a sunny day like this, and it was usually really bad in the rain. It's just not been good today at all. Like,
And
even the sun, it's sunny, really sunny.
let me just say as well, I'm not talking about pain. This is not me complaining about it being rough or anything else. When you do get to the Cobra roll, you do get shook around like crazy. You get thrown out your seat. You can't really see where you're going. It's like boom, 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 and you follow the inversions. Obviously, the two corkscrews after that. That coaster's actually good. The two corkscrews afterwards, of course, are still a bit, you know, rough after the Cobra roll and the Sea Serpent before it. Problem is, I don't think now I actually enjoy the ride anymore because I know what's coming. I know it's just going to be smooth, feels good, corkscrew element. Oh wait, pothole, boof. And then oof, or smooth again, or boof, pothole, or trim. Again, don't take this from a place of hate. I love the Smiler and it breaks my heart to say it, but a coaster is not supposed to be beat your ass up rough, even if you don't feel pain. It's supposed to be somewhat smooth with rattle. Rattle's fine, but that, you can see I'm annoyed by it because I'm to the point where I'm like, I don't think I want to ride it anymore. I might ride it once a year and see if they've improved it, which is heartbreaking because it's such a brilliant coaster. Brilliant theming, brilliant layout, everything. But they are putting the money into keeping it smooth. And on top of that, they were batching poorly. The last downstairs was talking to their baggage holders. No one was upstairs. She eventually batched us through and there was no one in the air gates, slowing down operations massively. I know it's a quick queue, but if they're doing that, that's what they'll do all the time. Europa Park, Fantasyland, even Blackpool don't do that. They put you in the air gates immediately when you're there, whether it's busy or it's quiet.
Yeah, on a better note, they have fixed the projections. They're actually in the right spot. Always ending it on a positive note. No, I'm kidding.
The positive note is this.
Yes, as you can see here behind us, Oblivion is back open. They've got the lovely misters back on for you all. So we're going on there next.
And Wicker Man's also open, so we'll get there eventually too. I'm hoping. There she goes. There goes. There she blows. Oblivion. Oblivion, Oblivion.
Which is a good ride as always.
Yes, the now best ride in X Sector.
He really doesn't like the Smiler at the moment.
I want to.
I've had my opinions on Smiler before, so I just find it funny.
I want to like it, but I need to fix the wheels. Anyway, enough about the Smiler.
Yeah. Oblivion!
Best as always, best drop in the world on one of these coasters. 10-minute queue, it was 10 minutes. Then we had the 30-minute queue and it was...
About
15.
Yeah, 15, probably about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I forgot to stop recording the timer on my watch. So when we came off, it was about 20 minutes. So that says it all because we were waiting on the brake run for a little bit. So we're going to go with 15.
Yeah, so we got a few rides there. However, Galactica's gone down again, and so has something else. I forgot what it was. It's not really
Rita. It was Rita.
Was it Rita?
Yeah, it was Rita. I'm pretty sure you said Rita and Galactica's gone down.
There was 3 things. I'll put a screenshot on the screen. I've got ADHD, my memory's horrible. Regardless, I think it's time to go on the Smiler next, I think.
Definitely not. We're going on Spinball.
Spinball and then Wicker Man as Oblivion drops again. There's no balls. Where is my ball? And right there we just had 18 minutes for a decent spin on Spinball with the estimated time 20. But now we're at
Wicker Man, which is estimated at 40 minutes. But it's been quite long all day, so we're going to go on it anyway.
Yeah, might as well. Galactica did go down again in the valley, so we're not getting on that today. But we will hopefully get 2 rides on Nemesis and maybe a few on Toxicator as well before we end.
The time has come for the Weatherman to ride. Together, we shall evenly. Let the ceremony commence.
We just waited 40 minutes for Wicker Man, advertised at 40 minutes. Now it was 40 minutes up until the pre-show, and then it was 50 minutes when we actually got on the train. So
which I count as a queue. I don't care if Alton Towers don't, I count that as queue.
I'm pretty sure Alton Towers counts up to the pre-show, but I do agree with Steve. It's when you get on the ride.
Especially when the operations were probably not the best. Not the worst I've seen, but up there. As in not filling trains, and it's been really slow.
They were quite slow today. They had 3 trains on. So
you thought there were 2 on, it was that slow?
I thought there was 2, but I actually realised there was 3. We found out there was 3, and I was like, what? That should have been way faster. So yeah, surprising from Wicker Man today.
Still a decent ride as always. We've got row 7, although it did feel a lot tamer, so I'm not sure if it's because I've not had a chance to warm it up. However, we've got less than 1 hour in the park. Nemesis is essentially walk on. It's been 5 minutes for a while, and Toxicator's at 10 minutes. It did go down briefly, but it's back up. So we're going to head to Toxicator first.
And yeah, Galactica's been down and up and then down multiple times, so we're probably going to skip that for today, unfortunately.
We ain't got time. We need Toxicator and Nemi rides, and see how it's going with operations on that end. Although 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure it'll be quite fast.
Exactly. Off to Vibbin Valley. Hello, Mr. Robin.
And after Sarah's little interaction with her bird friend there, we finally arrived at the Toxicator, and the queue times were looking positive. 10 minutes on the board, surely nothing can go wrong, right? Nothing's gonna happen to the ride, but of course, the beautiful theming, as always. The Toxicator does not fail to impress, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, because we are really trying to get to 1,000, and every little bit helps, and we really, really appreciate it.
Attention civilians. Toxicator has commenced testing procedures. We hope to be back in operation soon.
Although 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure it'll be quite fast. And with that disaster, we had just minutes to spare, so we had to sprint over to Nemesis to even have a chance of getting on the ride. As you can see, we're in the Nemesis queue at 3 minutes to 5. 4, 5, 4,
Yes,
2.
unfortunately, the Toxicator queue line was 10 minutes when we got in it, but we actually waited for 32.5 minutes due to someone dropping something on the ride, and then they had to shut it down.
However, as for the Toxicator, it was still a decent ride.
Yeah, it was riding good, though we did notice in the queue line that when it was testing, when there's no weight on it, the squeaks are actually a lot quieter than when you've got a full train.
Full car, train.
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Right, whatever you
sausage,
want to call it, yeah.
something. It's an oblong thing.
Either way, when it's full, you get really very, very loud squeaks now. They're really squeaky.
Much louder than an opening day, but
Yes.
of course, again, when it was tested, it was still there, but it was more similar to opening day. Although, again, operations even were slower. It was taking a long time. I think we were sat on it for 5 minutes almost once we got in our seats to even get off the ground.
Yeah, we were,
So-
but we did get an extra spin. So
did.
it went 3.5 and then 3.5 rather than 2.5 and 3.5 last time. So that was good.
It was. Extras are always good. We don't know if that's... It still said alpha, so we don't know what's going on. Maybe they've changed the cycle slightly.
Who knows? I'm not going to complain. More spins, the better.
Or maybe it is a new cycle, but they just haven't recorded alpha, beta, theta stuff. It might just be the same alpha all the time, but it's a different cycle. Who knows? But
Nemesis Reborn was on 15 minutes. This is not a 15-minute queue. I mean, look where it is. All the way down there. Pretty much station building. That is not 15 minutes.
yeah, but at least we had just enough time to get in the queue after some cardio, which I can't stand at the moment.
Yeah, we were worried we were going to miss out on a ride of Nemesis today, which would have been an absolute travesty.
Although, look what's also going up. Galactica! It's working! Way! Well, that was certainly a very fast Nemesis queue. It was faster than even we expected.
Yeah, it was 2.5 minutes and they were trying to say it was 15. We knew it wasn't going to be 15, but we didn't know it was going to be 2.5 either, so.
Yeah, Nemesis has been strong all day, besides the one time it went down, it got a bit of a queue then, but other than that, it's been eating queues, as it always does when it's got decent operations, and it's had great operations today from what we've seen.
Yeah, so overall at the park, was it better than opening day? Yes, but we did have some ups and downs depending what ride we went on. So obviously this morning, Dark Forest was pretty good. 13 was throwing trains out apart from the baggage hold, and it was slightly slower but not too bad. It was going okay. Smiler was fine apart from the dodgy operations when we went in the main queue, and enough said about the ride. Oblivion was brilliant. They were just bringing trains out no problem. Wicker Man definitely slowed it down quite a bit. Spinball was fine. They were taking trains out too, and then obviously we ended up in not Dark Forest, what am I on about? Forbidden Valley, jeez, too many rides. Forbidden Valley and Toxicator was a lot slower than opening day for operations. Obviously, not their fault that someone dropped something on ride, we don't know what it was. Obviously, that delayed quite significantly, but it was a lot slower. We were waiting on the station for about 5 minutes before they actually sent it going. And Nemesis was brilliant to end the day. So we ended the day on a good thing.
I'd say it's more ups and downs. I'd say overall they've massively improved upon the operations and ride availability since opening day, because that was kind of like, oh wow, what's this year going to be like if it's like this now? But they've massively improved upon it, so it's not as daunting now looking forward.
No, but there is always room for improvement.
Which there is in all of us and everything, to be fair, so
Exactly.
there is that. But overall, it's been a good day. Quiet again. I don't know how to handle it when it's busy. I suppose we will find out eventually, or other YouTube friends will find out if they come during a busy time, but
Yeah, it was quieter than we expected. Still busier than a lot of normal Tuesdays out, I suppose turn time, I guess you could call it.
yeah, but it's overall been a lot.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
not been as bad as we thought it was going to be.
But, you know, still, again, enjoyable day. Just a few ups and a few downs, but mostly ups. But with that being said, be like a barra.
And keep coasting.
Bye-bye, and don't forget to check out part 2 of our Europa Park vlog, which should be out after this very shortly.
And please like and subscribe.
Always helps.